Okay guys, so we're reacting to the Brokie Epidemic by Bladed Angel. Link in the description if you want to see that one.
So lately, the internet is having beef with broke people, or at least who they perceive are broke people. I'm convinced 90% of the people saying brokey unironically to offend others are usually brokies themselves. Regardless, I've got a love-hate relationship with this term. I think it's pretty
True though, because only brokies have the time to afford calling other people brokies.
funny if used ironically, and actually I still find it funny when used unironically because it's a huge beacon that basically shouts, I'm the actual broke and jealous one who's projecting it onto everyone else. By the way, you're not a bad person for wanting financial freedom or pursuing a successful level of wealth. I personally don't care about becoming the next Elon Musk of the world, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't at least care enough about money to still be responsible in how I earn it, spend it, and understand it. The reason I mention this is because a lot of people who get pitfalled by this.
You don't get any W's for being poor, guys. Try to make some money. Like, it's not all about money, but like being poor doesn't get you anything.
Brokey ideology are usually doomed to actually be the brokest of all, since they seem to be racing to the bottom by making the rich richer while making themselves even broker, but then calling everyone else broke instead.
This burrito bowl dinner on DoorDash comes to $41, but thanks to Klarna, you can make 4 payments of $10.40 over.
Bruh, ain't no way I'm gonna get DoorDash for just one person. If you're ordering that on DoorDash, bro, you are actually tripping. You should just like go and not be lazy and go and get it yourself. My DoorDash, my Chipotle is like 3 miles, bro. Like there and back, and I've walked there like hella times. So you guys can do that too, bro. Like I bet that this entire meal, I think it's like half the price, like 20 bucks. Yeah, guys, use your brain here.
Over the course of 6 weeks instead.
Buy now, suffer later. This is the biggest component pushing forward the Brokie epidemic, which is the buy now, pay later trap. The most poverty spec behavior that these anti-brokies cope with is how, because they can afford nice things constantly, they must not be the broke ones. Therefore, the real brokies are all of us who don't have the nice things like they do. Newsflash, financing things isn't actually affording it. Why are we still confusing these two? There's this really cool video where it talks about how a lot of people still mix up wealth and debt.
Hey, the easiest way to not use buy now, pay later apps is to just never sign up for them, bro. Just make it as hard as possible to get stuck in that trap. So never sign up, never give them your social security. Don't like log into any of those shits. Like never do that. And if you already have those, like delete them as fast as you can.
Nolly, 2,500. You jealous, ain't you? Ooh, that's a lot of money. We work at the same place. You know, I know about what you make. Yeah, I know we work at the same place. I got more money than you. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You got a lot of debt. See, you know the difference between debt and money. You got a lot of debt, but I don't think you got that much money.
Having a lot of nice things doesn't mean you can't be a brokey. In fact, most brokies try to hide how broke they are with nice things. Why do you think Labubus are a recession indicator? In no universe where we have a healthy economy would people be collecting these.
Bro, why are people literally buying those? I don't get it. Literally, the CIA is jumping for joy, bro. They don't got to do shit for you to like, now you buy that bullshit. You got to work to pay it off. So now they got you trapped, bro. You just bought some bullshit that cost them $1 to make. And now you're making 20 bucks an hour. You just gave them an hour of your life for $1, bruh. You will just be like slaves forever if you don't stop. Like you actually gotta like save your money and like earn more money, bro. So you're not stuck in the Matrix type shit. And like
it's just ridiculous, right? We even have people on Twitter constantly bragging about stupid things like, if your car model year isn't as new as mine, I'm not dating you. Or if your car model year is,
bro, first of all, don't buy the newest cars because they're not even that good.
Isn't newer than insert
like old Toyotas, old Hondas, bro. Go to this hell.
Year, you're a brokey. What's sad is that like these are non-car people. Why do they care about what kind of car you have? I mean, in this day and age, most people are even driving like 30-year-old cars. Like the car market is rough. I've already made a few videos covering that topic. And if you enjoyed this video so far, make sure to subscribe, like, all the good stuff. But the thing is, like, lady, no one cares about your freaking 2025 Hyundai. Who cares about model year? Because in that case, a 1992 McLaren F1 must be broke AF. Oh, wait a second. It's actually worth more than their entire bloodline. headline. Yeah, I went there. Not just her net worth, not just her grandparents or great-grandparents' net worth, or her future kids' net worth. None of them are gonna make that amount of cash in their lifetime, especially with that kind of attitude. I'm so tired of peak consumerism having hijacked a lot of these broke people's brains who constantly buy stuff, and they now think that that makes them rich. Like, again, these
You know, I gotta applaud these people, these marketers, bro, these people that are like controlling the money at the top. Like, you guys are geniuses at propaganda. I want to learn from you, bro. You guys are tricking these people like so easily. Or I bet it's not actually that easy, but you guys are so good at like tricking these people to just buy bullshit all day. How did you even learn this skill, bro? Can I learn it, bro? Jesus Christ.
items usually depreciate, so everyone has a plan until the rep nation attacks. Like, the only replicas I hate are replica car wheels because it's dangerous to drive on lower quality wheels that are meant to keep multi-thousand-pound machines on the road, by the way. That is not something you should be cheaping out on parts for. However, anything else that's replicated is just funny to me, and I absolutely support anyone buying it because most of the fashion industry is a sham anyways, and most of them are actually already replicas. I've also
If you literally buy good replicas, they literally are made with the exact same material and sometimes even the same factory, bro. What's even the point of paying full price for something that costs like $1 for them to make and they're selling it to you for like 500? Like, just buy the replica, bro. Nope. Like, even if someone catches you, like, who cares what they think?
made a video on that in the past as well. This isn't even me talking down to China. I love what they're doing. Again, I think this is funny because most things are already made in China anyways, whether it's handbags, jewelry, or sneakers. Rage baiting people of replicas has to be a commendable act of valor these days. Y'all rep boys, you guys keep up the good fight. I am so tired of people literally wasting thousands on these things, all using buy now, pay later just to get our brand label and pretend it makes them high status and they have the right to call everyone else brokies who don't have it. Again, if you just look at how real rich people dress, they usually wear unbranded things or they just wear really cheap clothing. Like, at the end of the day, these aren't like
Hold up. This is wrong, actually. I'm pretty sure the shirts that Mark Zuckerberg wears, they're not very cheap at all. They're like $500 each and like super high quality. They look cheap or like they're unbranded, but they're like tailored. They're like high quality material that you would like from companies that you've never even heard of. I'm pretty sure they're not cheap. Like, compared to their wealth, yeah, I guess they could be considered cheap.
a watch from 100 years ago. If it doesn't have actual history, no one's going to care to keep track of whether or not it's a replica or otherwise. Fake it till you make it. Speaking of supercars, the most advanced form of buy now, pay later comes with the existence of supercar-specific lenders, also known as exotic car financing. There are 120 to even 144-month financing. That's 12 years, by the way. That's almost a 15-year mortgage at that point. To put this into perspective, someone financing an $80,000 Dodge Challenger Hellcat for 29.99% APR for 72 months is actually buying that car for 160 grand, basically double what the car's price is. I made a whole video talking about this, not gonna re-explain.
This is the power of compounding interest, bro. It's kind of hard to like understand it like conceptually. Make sure if you're buying something with any interest, like make sure you use a compounding calculator to figure out like how much you're actually paying. Because like once you see the numbers like difference, then you actually realize how much interest you're paying. But like if you just see a number like 10% APY or something, like you don't really understand like what that means, how that'll like increase the amount of like interest that you're paying
in here. But the point is, like, you can only imagine how much worse this must get for something that is twice the duration of 72 months, 144 months. The interest payments on that must look completely asinine. You probably already know better than I. Literally no actual rich person is doing this. I noticed a lot of the 2025 Brokie epidemic has a lot in common with the fake rich phenomenon a few years back, because during those years there were a lot of people who would just flex these supercars and whatever, and they were actually loaning them. And even so, these supercar loans as well as these buy now pay later schemes, they actually aim for this middle class fake rich, which are people who obviously aren't in poverty, but
those supercar financing things, bro, they're actually super genius. Like, the people who created them, now they're going to take advantage of all these like people that are like lower middle class that want to pretend they're super like upper class, or like they're gonna make so much off of interest. It's like, holy shit, they literally trap these guys for life out here, and they just keep making new products to keep trapping them with interest And they're doing it every single year with some new shit. People keep falling for it.
Are also not truly wealthy, but they still have enough money to be able to apply for these loans to begin with and therefore fall for these traps. So Cara Nicole has a cool video series covering the fake rich phenomenon if you need a better explanation. But someone who is actually rich also isn't applying for these loans either, since if they really did want a loan on a supercar, they'd probably just do 3, 5, maybe 6 years at most, or they'll just buy in full. And I know that some finance bro is gonna hit me with the no, it's called keeping your wealth streams open. Why would you sink 200 grand at once? Which is why buying in full is stupid, because I need to open up that cash for other opportunities. Let me do some actual finance speak for these wannabe finance bros. Keeping wealth streams flowing makes sense if you're loaning something at a lower interest rate than the market rate. This is one of those things, you're gonna see this later in the video too, where
it's only worth it if you can make more money than the percentage to APY. So like some people's like student loans are like 2%, and the market returns just on like ETFs might be like 6-7%. 6-7. Okay, that was cringe. But it might be like 6-7%. By not paying off their loans, they're actually profiting like the 4% difference. So that's how you actually can make money with a low loan interest rate. But like if you have a high interest rate, like 30%, like you're not making any money on that. You're gonna lose it. So just paying it outright is like the correct thing to do in that situation.
Phrase they're saying is true, but their understanding of it is completely incorrect. And sorry if this is starting to get dull and not interesting, so for younger Gen Z, jingle, here's me building a V8 engine in Minecraft using redstone, like, because I built a lot of cool things in this game. I might start a second channel on it. That's something I might do in the future. Anyways, there's a very low chance that the supercar's loan interest is going to yield more profit than the index fund. So they have to ask themselves, can the content I make with this actually beat the market rate? The answer is oftentimes no, especially when you factor in insurance, wear and tear, depreciation from all the wear and tear, and again, depending on what interest rate they have, because that'll make it worse or better depending on how good they did, depending on their credit score. So, but what I'm talking about is like a lot of these fake rich people who make fun of brokies, they always own entry-level supercars that they then loan for 144 months. And these entry-level supercars, be completely honest with me, for all the car guys out there, are you really interested in seeing the 20,000th guy start a vlogging career on YouTube or Instagram with yet another Lamborghini Huracan? And yes, there are now that many of them made. And yes, every single one of them are vloggers as well. True wealth is usually being at the top of these wait lists and getting not entry-level supercars for one. They're getting very special, high-end hypercars even, that all have their examples already spoken for. And a lot of these entry-level supercar owning
if I was rich, dude, I would actually just like drive these crazy cars. I think sometimes the performance might not be that good. Like, and if you're rich and you're just collecting them, like that's fine. Like, do what you want with your money. But like, I feel like it's a shame that these cars are not being driven, bro. Like,
finance bros don't even know what that phrase means, which proves that they're the real brokie here. Never ever fall for these fake finance gurus. And anyone outside the car bubble, you guys are probably rolling your eyes for the best reason, because you guys already know this. You know that a lot of supercar flexers online, especially in the post-quarantine world, are grifters. But the amount of car guys who still think it's the 2017 supercar flexing meta and give the cope of bladed, I trust this guy because he's a Lambo and you don't. Your Corvette's broke boy status. Like, all right, go buy their crypto this time for sure, right? That one's gonna go to the moon, The old adage of fools are easily parted with their money still rings true even to this day. But unfortunately, the idea of being anti-saving is yet another component that's pushing forward this brokie epidemic.
Literally, I think if you had a Corvette, that would still be like pretty like noticeable. Like, I don't know. I don't see that many like crazy cars where I live at.
Sometimes you gotta spend money to make money. If I had $1 every time I heard this phrase, I'd have more money than everyone who says that phrase combined, which isn't that much since most of them are actually in debt. So I think literally anyone watching already has more money than most of them. If you're 15 years old and haven't even worked a job yet, congratulations. You technically have a higher net worth than most of these people with this logic. And again, like I said earlier this video, this phrase is true. It's not incorrect. The understanding of it is what's incorrect. I don't want to sound like a bitter guy who's jealous of self-made millionaires. I think it's okay for individuals to gain financial independence and run a business they can be proud of. The problem is that a lot of people who say this phrase nowadays have no idea what it actually means. Instead, they just use this as an excuse to needlessly dump tens of thousands in hopes that they'll someday strike it big. Sometimes they just use this to even cover up bad habits. Like, there are people who unironically call others brokies for not being able to DoorDash $30 on mid-as-hell fast food slop. I see this comment way too much on Caleb Hammer's channel. It's a horrible cook, because whenever he makes fun of people for eating out too much, you always have people who are like, well, sorry you guys are brokies who can't afford $30 meals. I'm on a busy schedule. I'm grinding, bro. I can't be wasting time shopping or cooking. Ew. If you were rich and successful, you'd understand that you gotta spend money to make money. I don't know a single real wealthy person, especially not the Koenigsegg.
And even if you make $100 per hour, like there's a lot of downtime in between when you're actually working, making money. So like you can cook in between that like gap period, and you'll literally be fine, bro.
Pagani owners,
you'll literally save money. Like,
who would order fast food DoorDash under the guise of it helps me grind, bro. Real rich people get it. No, they have personal chefs instead. Heck, some of them do just learn to cook too, because it's fulfilling. I love cooking, all right? It's not that hard. These grind set bros are the most susceptible to falling for literally any scam, since instead of accepting the true meaning of grind set, which means being in it for the long run, a lot of them actually want get-rich-quick schemes. And to give a better example for a lot of the younger people watching who will understand this one, forget businesses, this also applies to content creation. If you haven't even started a channel or started streaming yet, should you really be buying a $5,000 gaming PC, $2,000 camera, $1,000 XLR microphone? No. But there are unfortunately people who answer, yes, I do, Bladed. I need to.
Yeah, you got to make money with what you got before you start going crazy on the equipment and stuff like that. Like my setup is like broke as hell, bro. Like I got a shitty webcam. I mean, it doesn't even matter because you can't see my actual face. I got a mic, which I did spend like some money on. It was like $50, the blue Snowball. And I just use my laptop that I use all the time. Like I'm not gonna lie, it's a good laptop. It's kind of expensive, but you know, it's already what I had. And if I didn't have that, I would just use like my old laptop that I got like years ago, which is also pretty shitty. Like it was good at the time, but like now it's like pretty
spend money to make money. The better my equipment, the more subscribers I'll get.
No, and you can see that just from this guy. Like this guy has 170K views. Like there's no equipment that's needed except a microphone and like editing software, which is definitely like you can get for free. Like he just has like random videos and then just like a bunch of GIFs in the background.
That's exactly how that works. So when you go $8,000 into the hole without any profit or even any viewers or without even a plan or without even starting your channel, what happens when 3 months passes by? You give up. And this isn't me talking down to people. So Healthy Gamer GG has a good video on this topic. I'm gonna summarize it briefly. A lot of people like to move the goalposts, and then they wonder why they're lazy or why they're disappointed that they aren't succeeding as fast as they wanted to, and why they want to give up now. So they call themselves lazy, they call themselves not determined, they have problems with motivation, they give up too easily. Believe it or not as many people are actually as lazy as they think they are, including most of you watching. Things in life get hard because we sometimes are guilty of making them needlessly hard, and this does apply to this exact phrase. The greatest content creators, the most successful authors, investors, and businessmen, all of them have one thing in common. They just started. And the first few things you make, by the way, suck. But that's okay, because guess how you get better? You suck first. You lose,
Practice.
you lose, and then you know how to not lose and how to play.
There's a story of like a class. They split the class into 2 sections, and it was basically a pottery class. So one class, they had to only make 1 pot and make it as good as possible. And then the other side had to make as many pots as possible and then turn in like the last pot or that they made. So at the end, what happened is like the people that were making a pot a day, they became really good at actually making the pots. And when they turned it in, their pot was better than the people who had only made 1 pot like the entire like class and like only focused on one. Practice of like doing the repetition, failing and learning from it made them way better than just like trying to be perfect from the start. If you're going to start doing something, just start, learn, and then improve, and then keep improving every single time. And that'll make you better and like get you further than someone who's trying to start perfectly at the very beginning.
Play the game better, so then you start winning. The lower the barrier of entry it is, the more your brain actually wants to do it. please stop moving the hurdle. Moist Critical and many big creators still use USB microphones. I think he in specific uses an Audio Technica 2020. And look at his viewership, right? I don't think the general public will care about the 10 to 20% difference between a USB mic and XLR, and I know it's gonna hurt some audio files. And why do they call themselves that? No offense, that you guys might need to rebrand what you guys call yourselves. I know file doesn't have like a bad connotation, but with what it's commonly associated with nowadays, that just feels like a dirty word to say. But like I literally have a Shure XLR now, 8 years later in my YouTube career, and I bet hardly anyone cared my microphone even changed this year. Most people probably didn't even notice because they have such cheap headphones that it basically cancels out the 10 to 20% difference anyways. Like basically, if you have a USB mic or XLR mic, you sound good enough to most headphones. Just spend $100. You're more than good enough. Because if you only spend $100 and just start going off the rip, because most smartphones these days have good enough cameras. You don't need a super good camera off the rip. When you spend nothing or hardly anything, the first few months of even making a few dollars to a few $10, even a few $100, instantly covers your starting expenses, so you don't feel demotivated. You feel the opposite. You go, whoa, I spent $100 to start this channel. I'm already making $200 after a few months. I feel great. I'm gonna keep going. Whereas if you spend $8,000, you will see the $200 as a failure. You'll be like, oh, I've been doing this for 3 months. I only made $200.
That's a real
I'm
good
still
point.
$700-800 in the hole, and that's the problem. It recontextualizes everything. Tying this back in the video, it's like leveling in a video game. You know when you pick up a weapon and it's too high of a level for you currently, and it gives you the warning of this item's gonna have reduced stats until you properly meet the requirements. $10,000 of equipment is worthless to someone who just started and has no idea how to correct.
Yeah, at this point, if you get $10,000 worth of equipment, you have no idea how to use it effectively to actually get more views. And the videos that you're actually going to process, bro, it's not, you don't need that much. Like, come on now.
Use it. There are beginners out there who set up XLR microphones worse than how a USB microphone sounds out the box. That is just a fact, which is why you need to wait until you know what you're doing first before you upgrade the equipment anyways, because you've already made money by then too. So they develop the skills properly and meet requirements correctly. That is why the phrase of spend money to make money is a correct phrase, but not many people, or rather almost no one these days, ever uses it correctly. And it sucks because now people think it's an incorrect logic for your business, because it is okay to scale up your business after you've proved your business works. Don't scale up something that doesn't exist if you haven't even started.
MVPs, like minimum viable products and proof of concepts, they need to be clearly made sure that it actually works, and then you can start going crazy on it.
Yet there is nothing to scale up yet. You are needlessly raising your barriers of entry. I'm not going to repeat it. Rewind 5 minutes to rewatch everything what I said about authors and successful people and the barriers of entry, whatever. Okay. Anyways, that's my rant on this Brokie epidemic. Here's to hoping y'all won't be needlessly going into debt. And then
Stop being a brokey, guys. I hope this video was insightful and hope my commentary was also insightful. Subscribe to Bladed Angel, subscribe to me, and then, yeah, see you next time.